Just reading.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy here, and we are in another episode of In the Hot Seat with the usual suspects. Of course, I got my main man, Jimmy the Don.
What's going on?
This guy over here wandered in off the street. We felt bad for him in. That's Nick's Kix and Comix. Nick, thanks for coming on and being with us again, buddy. And down below, we got the man himself, Key Loowee.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, man.
And Navs Comics, thanks for showing up. Chop and Drop, Arcade Pop, thank you, gents. We appreciate you starting us out fast here.
Love those
and we're going to get right into this. Gents, and Louie, as I always start this show out, for anyone that's going to watch us on the rewind and may not know who you are, let them know who you are real quick and about your channel.
All right. Well, I'm Key Loowee, and my name kind of tied into my original content. So I was giving away a free Key comic every Friday, and it was a really cool outlet for me to do all the fun things I enjoyed. I do parody songs, which are so fun, dude. I have a blast doing a parody song. That's probably my favorite part of my Freaky Fridays. And I tie it around the issue I'm giving away. So the subject titles kind of tied into there, and I just try to make it fun. And it's what I always wanted to do. I want to show off my books to people who care, because my family are done. They're like, please stop showing us comic books.
I got that same problem, Louie.
Yeah.
Mine don't care at all.
Oh my goodness. You're like, okay.
So I'm going to guess none of them collect anything, or at least
no, nothing like that. My daughter is now in the anime books, which she's reading, so I'm super happy. So yeah, it's a start for sure, but not like me. Maybe I always compare, like, well, I don't have as many shoes as you have. So that's my comparison when she's like, how many comic books do you have? So it's a lot, so much. She really doesn't.
When did you start doing parody songs, Louie?
It kind of tied in. Actually, that's the first things I started doing on YouTube were parody songs. I did comic book songs, a community shout out song, and then a dollar bin song. And that dollar bin one kind of exploded into a dollar bin Wednesdays show where I show off my dollar bin wins. And it was funny because it was Mark at Legion of Comics. He loved the video, and it's it's like, gosh, it's almost a year old now. He's like, man, this song is awesome. Yeah, this song is amazing, dude. And I'm like, it is amazing. And it made me do a little clip to do an intro, and then I just created a whole show off of that one comment. So it's something I kind of wanted to do. That's all it is. All this show is everything I want to do, because it's easy. It just comes off easy, and you don't have to work too hard.
The songs are so much fun, but every time I listen to one, I'm like, they got to take you a lot of time.
It does take, because I want to be methodical with it. I try to be, because at first I was like, you know what? Keep it under 3 minutes. That's the attention span of most humans. So just keep it there. And I started out great. I was like, all right, 1 minute for the song, 1 minute for the comics, 1 minute for the shout outs and everything else in there. And then it just started expanding, and then live shows became way easier. I'm like, this is way easier than filming and editing.
Now,
so it's kind of been up and down a bit.
How long have you been involved with comics? Has it been since you were a child?
In a sense, I believe the first comic book I saw and held my hands was the Wolverine, is it 50, the yellow die cut cover?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was, I think, in 5th grade, and I just moved to Tampa from New York, and I remember holding it, and the medium just blew my mind. I was like, this is freaking amazing. And learning about Wolverine before the X-Men cartoon was really cool. And then the second one was in 6th grade. I got the Smokescreen. Actually, Gary, you AOK'd me that Smokescreen comic where it has Storm, Luke Cage, and Spider-Man.
Right.
And it's a PSA comic for smoking.
I love those comics.
Dude, that was the first one I owned. Like, I own a comic. And I learned about Luke Cage. I learned about Storm. It's okay.
Do you still have your original one, Louie?
I do. I
Nice.
because I have a couple copies. I find some, and when I used to read them at the grocery stores too. When my mom was shopping, I was like, dude, I'm going to read comics here. They're all right there. And I remember seeing, gosh, an ASM 361. I'm like, this is cool, and just putting it right back. It's like, I'm not paying money. I already read the story. I don't need to buy it.
It was so much fun to be able to go into your stores and find a spinner rack, though. You know, I would just keep going around that thing and still picking up issues, and then of course you felt thrilled to see if one that you didn't see on there got put behind another one. And
yes, dude, that's how I really, because the ones that are behind ones are usually older books people skip, and that's where I caught up because the first book I started buying was off a spinner rack, and it was at a mall, and it was a newsstand. There was a newsstand in the mall. So these issues were actually, they were newsstand books. So I picked up, gosh, some of my first amazing books, which I'll never get over. This one, dude.
Nice.
And I got a newsstand too, and I'll never forget. I was so excited because What If just blew my mind. I loved What If books. The Ben Reilly Spidey suit was probably my favorite suit to date, and I just love
the first Scarlet Spider suit.
Yeah, dude, I love this.
It's like just a cuff hoodie, and for some reason it looks so cool. It's just so much fun.
It is, man. It's like, and it's so 90s too, you know. And that's where I started. I was, because I think I was, and Nick knows, I was working at Sbarro's at the mall. That's why I started making my money. Like, I can buy comics now. That's what I was doing. And I remember they were $2.38. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a lot.
Hey, so I don't want to ruin it for you guys. I know Ben Reilly's costume is cool and all, but
yeah,
picture that in real life. What would you think about a guy wearing spandex and a hoodie that comes past his belt?
I know. We're see it in a movie at some point.
Just translate.
And then we won't have to picture it. It'll be right there on the big screen. Everything's coming at some point.
Oh yeah,
and don't let Gary be front. He has that somewhere. He dresses like that on the regular.
That requires special money.
That's a special money. Oh, dude, I love it. You know the Luke Cage one on the Netflix where he had the bullet holes. Love that. Like, what a cool look.
Yara.
Oh, and Louis, we're gonna go on a little tangent here because you and I think a lot of the same things. Did you watch the new What If yet?
Yes. Oh
my
gosh,
gosh, how great was it?
It was so good.
It was so great, and it came out before 3 a.m. Like, it's already out.
Kelly Atwell is so perfect as Peggy Carter. I wish I would give her seasons forever. After watching that first episode, dude, I just want I just want seasons of that.
Completely. Like, she was so strong and built, but her voice and humor was perfect. Like when she was like running with the motorcycle guy. But it looks like fun. And
the supporting cast was right too. And Steve Rogers, what I loved about it most, he's still a hero. It doesn't matter what body he's in. Steve Rogers is a hero.
Oh yeah, dude. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show she had was amazing. Amazing. That was way better than the S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
And they never let it get to where it needed to go.
No. It was too bad because it was perfect. I love that show.
That second season was so good too.
Awesome, brother. Oh, hello.
Anytime I see something from that, Louis is, I see hello from Brooklyn, I'm like, I gotta clip it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love growing up in New York as a kid because you had Turtles, you had Ghostbusters, everything was centered. Spider-Man, Avengers, everything was centered in New York, so it made you feel like it was real. I couldn't get over it, dude. I remember trying to dig into the stories.
Marvel Comics.
Yes. Oh gosh, yeah, dude. That was my dream to work at Marvel. Like that, if I would have stayed in New York, I would have somehow tried to work at Marvel. Stan Lee, the paper boy. Like, I can do it, man. Gosh.
So, is that a strong reason why Spider-Man's your favorite hero? Is it the Spider-Man aspect or the Peter Parker aspect?
The Peter Parker. I mean, the Spider-Man is fun because I think he's like the perfect hero, but the Peter is everyone, and it really captures. How does it capture an entire human being? Like, everyone feels like they're that, and I love that. And that's what makes sense when people pick up the mantle. It's never pushed. You don't feel like everyone can be Spider-Man. It's amazing. And the Spider-Verse movie just did that perfectly. It explained it how everyone should understand and why everybody loves Spider-Man.
It was good, but it was missing a major component, and they
Yeah.
need to write it on the next one.
Yeah.
Do not have a Spider People movie without Jessica Drew.
Right? Come on. Love Jessica Drew. Dude.
And you
She
should
is
throw Julia
awesome.
Carpenter in there as well.
Yeah, I love Julia. Nobody ever talks about Julia because she has a daughter.
Right.
And I want to say she might have some powers too because she had her after she had her powers. And was she she was created during a Secret Wars event, right?
Yes.
Because it was an
Secret Wars
amalgamation of different.
Secret Wars 6 and 7, yeah.
We know
And it was that 4-issue miniseries with her was really good too, and that dealt with her and her daughter.
Dude. And I just got that. Can you believe this eBay? I think it was like $3 on eBay, dude.
What?
Nice.
Yeah. Now it is definitely hurt. That's why I'm venting. I don't care. But to me, it's perfect. This is beautiful, beautiful.
I have a graded 601, and I could buy a better one, but it's the first one I got in graded, so I'm never going to get rid of it because it's the first one I got.
Happy.
And I got 3 other ones that are probably in better grades than my comic box.
Yeah, baby.
Yes. I was watching Drax's show last night, and he had on Nick. Actually, Nick's on every live stream. I went over there just to taunt Nick.
Right, Nick probably just took off to go on another live stream real quick.
Yeah,
face on there.
But and they were talking about that, how when you're in a shop, and used to when you first got back in the hobby, you would go into a shop and you'd see a beat up book, and you're like, no, I don't want that because it's beat up. And now you're like, man, I really wish I would have picked that book up. And I really I love Star Wars. So, and I have the first Star Wars. I have a couple of copies of it, but I have one that is beat to crap. I mean, it is, but I bought it anyway, just because it was there. So, Louie, I want to ask you, where you do the parodies, and I'm always interested to know is what you do with writing the songs. Is that something that you've done your entire life? Does it tie into your day job, or is it really just the creative outlet, for you, in doing your channel?
It's something I've always done, but it was just for me. I never did it for anybody else. I think most of my life, most commercials, I would just twist it in a different way. A lot of songs. I remember the Hollywood. Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, I used to be like, idiots, I'm surrounded by idiots. I remember singing that in the shower, and it just never ended. So I just kept going. And like I said, I try to make my channel so me that I don't have to try. It just all comes out naturally. And the songs were the funnest part because I didn't know I can do that I can actually rewrite things. And you hear people on the radio doing these types of songs all the time. Like, man, I can really do that. So it surprises me when you can do creatively. Same thing with these backdrops. I don't know I can draw these things, so I tried it. And sure enough, I'm awesome at it. I'm like, hey. And it's all because I followed what my passion was. And it took a while to get there, but I'm so happy I'm here. And it's really strange because cosplay has changed for me. I just did the Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and I was more interested in comics again. I was like, I'm here for comics again. Cosplay is now in the background. I'm not into it like I was before.
Your love for comics is reinvigorated, huh?
Dude, it's amazing. now, I'm thinking about MegaCon. That's a lot of money that I can spend on books I want now instead. Just the entrance can be a book I know I want. So that's why I'm like, juggling again. Because I do love my con adventures. I love meeting people. I mean, you can't beat this, dude. That was awesome. I love this guy.
Nice. Great.
Right?
Awesome.
Dude, and he gave Kirby his artwork back. That's the best thing I think he did in Marvel ever. And I freaking love him. And I love that I got to do his picture with him. So little things like that. And Jimmy, this is for you, buddy.
Oh, my man.
Is that great, dude?
That's awesome, man.
Awesome. I love him. He was so nice. He's always so great. And you can't beat this dude, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
When he was still looking kind of young.
He was. This was only a couple years ago, and it was on a Comic-Con cruise is where I got to meet him at.
Wow.
Here's a dream, though. My man, the Fonz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
He's so good in Barry.
Yes, dude. I love everything he does. His comedy is the best. And Jimmy, another one for you, buddy. Clark is my man crush. And I had to do that Lex Luthor with him, and he was so cool.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
That was bucket list for sure.
Dude, and he was great on that show. Henry Winkler.
Yeah. Dude, on Arrested Development, he was a very good lawyer. I love him. Pretty much anything he's done. And the Fonz was such a hero to me growing up, man. I always wanted to dress like that, the leather jacket, the greaser look. Love that, man.
Not the Never Nudes. No.
Never News are fun. Walking around at a con like that, people are like, "Oh my god!" And there was only one person that got that. I was like, "Oh, you're Tobias." I'm like, "Yes." That was fun. Even he was like, "Oh dear God."
So where did the cosplay thing come from? Like, I mean, as far as like what sparked your interest in that, and you know, and how long have you been doing that?
So it's been, I think, 8 years now of cosplay, and it sparked, I think, about 12, maybe 16 years ago. One of the cons I attended, when I was leaving, I saw a Ghostbuster family, and I love that so much. Like, man, that is the dream. That's why you have kids. You can dress them up whatever you want now. So that was fun to me, especially when I had my daughter. I mean, we did everything you can think of. And when she was 1 year old, I took her to her con because my wife asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday. I said, dress up as the Batman family at Tampa Bay Comic Con. She was like, dang it. I was like, let's do it.
And she never asked again.
At all.
Yeah.
But it was great, dude. We had such a blast, and she was fun. And we actually got into the paper, too. We do that a lot. Like, we're kind of a big deal. But it was so fun, man. And that's what started that Bat cosplay. The year after that is when I did I got this suit, the Venom suit, and I didn't want to stand around. Like, I felt weird because I didn't do any poses. I couldn't do any jumps. So I was like, let me just do a backdrop and I can just stand there. And that's where the Secret Wars, I just came with that because I love that cover, one of my favorite covers. So I did that and we had a blast. Ever since then, I've been doing it. I try to tie it around to either guests or artists that are coming to cons or just something I want to do. And it's so much fun, dude. Like, I can't believe how much fun I have at cons. But it was weird because his last one wasn't the same. It was really strange. But the comic books I got were amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Great.
So does it come around Halloween time and you're just like, man?
No, that's the thing. When it's Halloween, my wife's like, hey, you get cosplay all year, so I get Halloween. So she usually chooses the Halloween costumes, which I'm like, you can have it. It's all good. And it's funny because we're always just different things. But I did get a Dr. Evil with my son. When he was bald, I'm like, perfect, yes. It was perfect. So like, I got that one. So yeah, man, we still have fun, but I let her have that one. So you get to choose the fun costumes this time.
So that ties me in because she seems to be a good spirit too, especially when she's doing I forget the Saturday Night Live skit.
The comic talk. Yeah, that was good.
She seems to, well, not that she gives you your comic time, but in real life, who's the cut up? Like, who's the jokester?
Gosh, you would think it's me, but man, it is her, and that's why you wifey that. When I was like, that's wifey material, my friend. And it's amazing because she inspired me in a lot of ways too, because I was crazy shy, and her bravery and I knew it was just his confidence. Like, is it real? I don't know, but I believe it. And she got me good. And it inspired me to do a lot of this stuff. So anything that's awesome about me is because of her. Because it really was when I got married and I had my kid and I realized, like, oh, I can be myself now. I already made it. I'm here. So it was it's the best, dude. I've had the best time. I made it the best time.
All right. So this, and I'll give it to the other guys. But how did you guys meet?
It's inappropriate. No, so it's really funny. I was a massage therapist, 10 years ago, and I was working in Tampa, and she came to me because somebody referred to me from a chiropractic office, like, hey, this guy's really great, just go to him. So that's when I first saw her, and I complimented her on her purse, which I never do, but I believe it was 90210. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, that's a nice purse. And that was the first thing I said to her, and it was like, cool. And then I actually got hired by that chiropractor. So when I first started working there, she walks in, I was like, you got this guy here? And then like, oh, cool. So we started seeing each other a little bit more. And that's funny because as far as that, the rule is you can't work on them for 6 months, then you can start dating, but you can't work on them ever for money. So she got free massages forever. But before we got married, I made sure she got her massage license. So I'm not the only goon giving away massages over here. So we've been pretty good. It's been awesome, dude. We had an awesome adventure. And it's amazing because just last year, with everything that happened, we actually had to flip roles over here, and I became stay-at-home dad, and now she's the working hump, busting her hump over here, and I'm on YouTube all day, like, yeah.
I guess in the end, you rubbed her the right way.
Oh, like that.
Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Thank you. I'm here next.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. So yeah, I'm very lucky, and I do. It made me believe in destiny. Like, damn, I guess I don't have a choice. This is happening, and that really is. And people don't know. It's like, how do you know they're the ones? Like, it's just gonna happen, dude. You really don't have a choice in the matter. It's happening.
I was on that big screen last week saying the same exact
thing.
Oh
yeah, I heard your story. That was beautiful. Like, today you're gonna meet the one you're gonna marry. I love it, bro.
It's true though. I mean, I never honestly. I didn't think I would ever get married. Having kids was the last thing on my mind, and then I met Amy, and I was done. Yeah, I was done.
In the basement, there was no escape.
Yeah,
that's how they get it.
Absolutely. I just had to tie her up for like 2 weeks, is all, and then she finally gave in.
That's all. I was like, yeah.
Had to break her spirit.
It's great.
Absolutely. Dude. So, Louie, as far as I got two things. One, that backdrop. You're saying that you had never really, from an art standpoint, that you didn't know you could do that. Like, I think that is amazing. I mean, I always have. And then watching you, I think it was on not C2E2, the Comics Curing Cancer. I think you were working on it some. And I was just you're saying that you didn't know that you could do that, and you just decided to do it, and then bam.
Yeah. Basically, now I'll admit that it is projected. I do project an image onto these presentation boards, and I trace it with paper or pencil, but then I come back with Prismacolor pencils, and that's where it really pops. And I kind of had an inkling because I did go to art school for a stint, and that's when I learned about Prisma. And I was like, man, I'm really good at copying something that already exists. Like, I'm great at that. Making my own, not so much. I mean, I kind of dabble a bit, but when it's already made, like, oh, I got you. Which is, I love that I can do that, especially with covers, because I'm recreating the cover, and when I cosplay, I try to stand in the pose that the actual person is, which is so fun because people think I'm a statue all the time. And they run up and they take pictures with me, don't even realize I'm breathing, and then I was like, hi. I freak them out. It's the best. It's like those stone people you see in the Bahamas or whatever. It's always great. Hey, you. And then this guy should have been sleeping ages ago. You cheeky little monkey.
Yeah, they never do, Louie.
No, buddy.
That's being a parent too, is never really getting sleep again.
Sleep is for the weak. Forget it.
My other question, Louie, was when you did the rap battle on DJ's channel, how different was that trying to write rhymes like that versus, doing the parody songs that you do? Like, was it more difficult? Because you did a great job. Like, I thought it was awesome, but I just wondered if the process was different trying to come up with that versus the parodies.
It definitely was, because with the songs that already are created, I'm kind of just riffing on what they've already done. And with the rap battle, it really was just creating my own sound and my own beat with no beat. But it was so much fun, and I'm glad I did it in the beginning stages, because I cannot keep up with what they're doing now in any way. And I think I might have read it wrong. So I think I just teased everyone. It's like, it's just teasing everyone, right? Like, there was no actual method to my stuff. It's like, I'm just gonna. And then I hate that I said when I said the DJ so much. Like, that guy's gonna haunt me, and I knew I shouldn't have. But that's a thing too. I like showing stuff, doing the unexpected. A lot of times, people expect, like, he's such a nice dude, and just like totally doing a curveball. It's just fun. Gosh, I set myself up all the time for that.
I know Louie can be heartless.
I can, dude. It's so fun. My wife's like, how can you? Like, I love this, because my whole life I had the heart of a child, which I can enjoy all things, but I also had the soul of an old person. So I've always been like, get off my lawn. My whole life I've been that way. And I love it, dude. And Jimmy, I got to tell you, dude, my first Superman story that I read and I loved was this one, dude. I cannot get over how much I love this. And it made me fall in love with Jonathan. Mm-hmm. And I already loved Damian. Like, Damian was instantly, I loved him. I love his attitude. But I'm not sure which issue it was, but there was one where he gave Jonathan the Xbox that Clark was flying all over trying to get him his Xbox, and then he gave it to him, and that melted my heart in half. Like, oh, Damien, you have a heart, and I love that relationship. The Super Sons eat that up, dude. So I just had to tell you that one, man.
No, cool, appreciate it, man. No, if you just like to read stories, probably one of the best Superman stories ever is All Star Superman. It's like a 12-issue run roughly, and Superman's dying from, if DJ's somewhere right now saying I'm going to sleep, but it really is, if you like to read it, it's that's actually a really good story as well. But I love that story too, the one that you held up with Jonathan. I love that one.
Beautiful. And I saw the movie The All-Star Superman, so those British guys were trying to take over, and when he came back at them and he had the all red eye blown up, he's like, you just made me mad. I love it to death. And it is great. Superman is a great character. And I know people can rip on him easily. Duh. But there's so many levels of that guy. He is the ultimate immigrant. How about that? There's so many things to his character. And really, it was Smallville that opened my whole life. I did love Lois and Clark TV show. I love it. Of course, Christopher Reeves is Superman still to me. Yeah. But Smallville really extended for a lot of people. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Christopher Reeve was just so, I don't know, he was just perfect.
Perfect, right, dude? Did you see his SNL skit when he was auditioning for it?
No, I'm
he was like catching bullets with his mouth.
Love it. Yes, Nick, he is my new favorite guest, because normally everybody comes on and rips on me for my Superman love.
I know, it's easy to. Everybody can say that, but he's the first one. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't even have superheroes, people. Look how many times those guys get denied before Superman was accepted to get into a comic book. Like that, to me, is magical. And the underwear, the cape, all that was from that. There's so much to it. I've always been a fan, and the new show is the best thing ever, dude.
It's so good.
Lois, best thing. Love it, man.
Yeah,
so
for
you
sure.
the Challenge of the Super Sons too, the new mini that's out.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I love those guys, and it's fun. I hate that Jonathan grew up. Honestly, he sped it up, but I'll get over it. Damien is still cool. He's still the same age, and I love him.
Nice. Now, I want to talk about your love of Stan Lee. Did that come with in Marvel?
So, Stan Lee, man, because I think Nick said it last time on this episode. When you hear Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Oh,
that's what I hear, dude. So I was already I was indoctrinated as a child. And I am obsessed. And I know, I get it. He was like the Bill Gates of comics. I get it. He had to do what he had to do. But we wouldn't have what we have if not for that. And I'm obsessed. So I pick up all books of his, especially this one, which I'm still going to show off forever. Because, dude, Stan Lee Zordon is so awesome to me. And I didn't think I was going to get this book because it's crazy expensive. Hey, you be nice to my books, buddy. Got a She-Hulk and Stan Lee here.
That was Playboy Stan with the two-tone.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. The navel. Got Loki, the variants of Stan Lee here. And I love that face. That's my favorite face of Stan Lee. He does that. Iron Man, freaking Stan Lee here. That's great. The Riri, I love it. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Generation X had him on there too as a.
Oh,
he was doing that little clown character.
Yeah, dude. And it is probably one of my favorite new ones here. That face, dude.
Yeah.
Prepare for thy cameo.
So, Louis, you've seen him before in person, right?
3 times, people.
So the first time, can you talk about what you felt? Like for me, standing next to him, I was very upset with the whole kind of cattle line when he does the signature. But to see him to actually walk up, for me, it was that moment of seeing the Yankee Stadium for the first time, or just to have that kind of sense of awe. I mean, what did you feel the first time you saw him?
Completely, because when I first saw him, he came into the room, and it's just like this energy and light coming off of him, and he's not even trying, which is so strange because he was the grandfather of comics, at least for me, because I was 80s, so he was he wasn't that old, but gosh, he worked till 98 years old.
Right.
Right. So, and to a lot of people, it was the Marvel movies that really, which I'm so glad he was in so many, and he's did great every time. He knocked it out of the park every time. But he, when he came in, like you're just so giddy and happy that you're in his breathing area. And when I first walked up, he signed my book. I'm like, Stan, you're the man. And he looked up at me, and I was wearing my Future Foundation costume, and he just smiled. He's like, "Thank you." I was like, he said, "You're welcome." And it was just like God talking to you. And every time I met him, it just got better and better. And he actually remembered me. The last time I saw him, he recognized me, which is insane because, you know, I did the backdrop things. So he met me twice at the backdrops already. So this is the third time I'm meeting him. And that story is crazy. The last time I met him wasn't supposed to happen. There was a storm that switched things around, and I had to take this test in Orlando for a medical license. It was a whole thing. And when I realized that I can actually I can be the last one to take a picture with them, I convinced my wife to meet me at the con with my daughter, with our costumes, with the backdrop, which was insane on its own. We made it all by the skin of our teeth. The people turned everything off. They couldn't even pull up my ticket, and they did it anyways. Like, MegaCon is a class act. They are so good to people. I can't even tell you. And we were the last people in Tampa to take a picture of Stan Lee, and that was with my daughter, and she knows who he is. And dude, it's like, that was tops. That was excellent. Wow. And he was like, "Hey, it's you." And he even held the comic book backdrop. I'm like, oh my gosh. So dude, he's such a sweet man. Like, when I first met him, he was actually 2 hours late because it was in a car accident. He still worked all the way through, just a class act. Like, really.
He seemed like a guy that never stopped.
No, dude. Like, how can you complain ever? If you get going.
And I don't know, if you grew up reading Marvel comics, you know who Stan was because you're reading the bullpen, you're reading the Excelsior in every book, and no one ever mentions these in the comics, but I love when he would have the embellishments and the titles when he give the guys like little nicknames and stuff, or give them funny little titles.
Oh, totally.
What they do, like embellisher or whatever you put on there.
Yeah. He was great with words, man. He really, I think that was his biggest gimmick, because he can make it like pronuncias, and it's just, I love how he just made you so excited. Yes, dude, he made you excited, and he was a good hype man, probably the best hype man ever. True. And you know, his wife was Madam Web in the '90s cartoon.
I do.
Love that, dude. Love it. So I hear her voice every time I read pretty much any Spider-Man. I'm reading those 90 voices is what I'm reading. In their voices, dude.
Now, one of the dream cartoon movies I want them to do the 90s Spider-Man. I want them to do a cartoon. It can be on Disney Plus, just a little movie wrapping up that storyline. They left you hanging with MJ disappearing, and then it never came back.
Big time. Now, I hear it is going to be in the Spider-Verse, that Christopher Daniels coming back in the Spider-Verse for it. We're coming to the Spider-Verse. Yeah, well, ooh. I'm not sure, but he is coming. So maybe there'll be a little something, because that's where Madam Web was leading him. Was like, now it's time to find your prize. Like, she was gone for like months and God knows where. So, and then they started that new Unlimited cartoon where they were together. Then he goes off to a different Earth, and it's just. I was
just gonna bring that cartoon up. I'm like, I even watched the Unlimited cartoon, and that was fun for what it was too.
It was totally for what it was completely.
I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I did too. You know, because it was different, and I like the art style for sure. And the comics are really cool. The comics are really neat. I have one with Wolverine, because Wolverine's like really beast looking.
Now, growing up, what were your go-to? Because you grew up with when we still had Saturday morning cartoons. What was Key Loowee's go-to Saturday morning cartoon?
Man, all of them. I don't think there was one I didn't like. So, I mean. But I was just thinking, I used to wake up 5 or 6 a.m. every weekend, because Saturday had so many. You didn't have enough time. There was no DVDs or recorders back then. You just had to watch as much as you can while you can. But there wasn't one I didn't like, dude. But as far as favorites, all the classics. I mean, Thundercats, which I'm not sure if it played too much during the weekends, because the weekends for a while was a lot of the Hanna-Barbera, kind of older stuff.
Herculoids and stuff like that.
Loved all that, man. Like
Speed Buggy. Only one season. I love Speed Buggy. Nobody knows who he is anymore.
No, dude. The
I
wacky
love
race.
Speed Buggy too.
Yes, dude. All of them were so great because they were all referring to a comedian at the time they were being made to. Like when you hear a Plastic Man, I hear Jerry Lewis.
Yes.
Like, great. So I do dig that because it is history, and it got me. But man, I'm telling you, it wasn't something I didn't like because the Saturday morning cartoons are slightly different than the weekday cartoons, like Ninja Turtles, things like that. They were just off Gargoyles. It was like there's just so many, dude. I can't get over it. I'm obsessed, man. And you know
what about did you get up at well, you left for Tampa relatively early in your life, right? 5 or 6?
Actually, I was 10, so it was 91 when I moved here.
Did you get up early to watch the G-Force?
Yeah. Yes, dude.
Great Space Coaster?
Yeah, man. I loved all that stuff, dude. Are you kidding me? And what was the Extreme guys? Dang it, I can't think of it. They used to like call a name, and then these robot things would come from the space and make them form up. Dang it, Centennials. I can't think of it now.
I always think of Voltron when I hear that.
Thundar and the Barbarians.
Thundar was one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
But isn't it sad, Louis, that our kids don't have Saturday morning cartoons to look
breaks my
forward to?
heart.
I look forward to that all week, every week as a kid. I could not wait.
Here.
I was up, I was eating my cereal, I was in front of the TV, I was having a blast.
And you knew at noon, American Bandstand would come on. It was like, oh, it's time to go outside and play. And that was Saturday, and it was the best. Dude. Like, I can't get enough of it because I would stay up at night and then start watching Night Court and all these awesome
love Night Court.
80s TV was the best. Murphy Brown.
R.I.P. Marky Post.
I know, right?
Yeah, boy. Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm so lucky where we grew up because I do think kids are denied not only outside stuff, but inside stuff. Like, it's really not what it was. Like, we were inside because we had awesome Nintendo games or whatever show coming on. And I miss family shows where the whole family can come together and enjoy something. I love that. To me, especially growing up in a Hispanic home where they really were just watching Spanish TV. We can, like, Lois and Clark was kind of our first family thing, and I love that. I'm like, oh, we're all enjoying this one thing that's all on Spanish. So I dig that, man. And I wish there was more of it, honestly.
So
did anybody ever watch that show?
That. Oh,
sorry, Gary. No, I was gonna say you were talking about these old shows, and there was a show that because we did the same thing as a family, right? There would be shows come on, we would just sit down and watch. But there was a show called WKRP in Cincinnati. Do you guys know that show at all?
Yeah, bro.
WKRP.
I love Bailey was the best.
Oh, good times, brother.
When they were trying to get fired with the new owners, and Bailey was pretending she was all drugged out, and she's.
You just watch that in the Jeffersons.
Please makes the very
oh man,
so funny.
This is great, dude. Jeffersons, all that, like all 80s. I can't think of any bad stuff. They were all great. They were geared towards us, and they did a good job, I think. Even the commercialization, I'm not mad at it. I loved all that stuff.
They weren't afraid to try stuff. You ended up with things like Automan and Manimal, all these like one season shows, but they were so easy and fun.
Heck yes. Heck yeah, dude. The creativity was off the wall. I know what was driving it.
All the moms wanted to watch Man from Atlantis for Patrick Duffy. You heard all the moms always talking about Patrick Duffy. All the dads were talking about Linda Carter.
Like, look, Golden Girls. Would a show like Golden Girls work today?
Dude, I don't care who you are. Everybody loves Golden Girls.
Yes, come on.
You cannot dislike the Golden Girls.
I was at Disney, and this guy had a Golden Girl shirt on, and I walked up, and I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
he was like, are you making fun of me? I'm like, no. Like, I love the Golden Girls.
Oh, yeah. I have a sun blocker in my car that's Golden Girls, and they're driving. I did it for my wife because she loves it, but I eat it up, dude. Heck yes, dude. Come on. What was the other one? Facts of Life. Like, you felt these shows, man. You cared about these people. Gosh, even Cosby. I'm sorry. I know whatever, but that show changed lives.
Yeah, it did.
I loved it.
Thursday night must-watch TV.
Yeah, man. And that's the whole thing. We were glued in one thing, and it was safe, and you were together. So I don't know. Right now, there's nothing nobody cares about doing together.
I'm going to bring one up that I bet you guys have never watched, and it's one of the best shows ever made. Another cliffhanger ending because the rights and stuff got screwed up. but Soap.
Oh, that was
I know Soap.
Yeah.
Soap
Hey,
was fantastic. It's my second favorite comedy of all time. It's only
with not Jessica Tandy, the redheaded from Who's the Boss?
Now you're making me think Tandy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica
Diane?
something or other, and it was Ted,
Billy Crystal.
Billy
Billy
Crystal.
Crystal's
Was
in
it
it.
Billy Chris? That's who it was, dude.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And I love the dad in that. He was so funny. Bert was the best.
You guys are killing me. Every week I'm going to IMDb on this show.
I know, right? And what was the Drummonds? What was that show with what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, that was
Different Strokes.
Different Strokes, yeah. I watched that a lot too.
I still love Webster too. Webster, man, he had the coolest house.
Benson.
That blew me away.
Let's get into this.
Catherine Hellman. That's what I was talking about. Catherine Hellman.
Yes.
Oh, and Richard
She was fantastic. Favorite childhood crush when you were a kid on television?
So many, dude. I mean, first of all, Gadget from Rescue Rangers. And gosh, there's so many because of Who's the Boss? Holy crap. And so many. All the Vanna White was a big one for me.
Oh yeah,
Big one for me. Still.
me too, Louis.
You don't got one show you turn into every week though, because you're like, I gotta see.
Alyssa
see
Milano,
that.
you're talking about Who's the Boss. I loved Alyssa Milano back in the day. Like I thought,
Ooh, I love her now.
Yeah, dude.
right?
Hey, do you need some Coco Radiant now, Jimmy, or what?
Hey, Coco Radiant's right over here, baby.
Oh, the girls from Cheers, both Diane and whatever from Cheers, like they were in their heyday. I was like, wow, they're really something. And they were the grown up, like, what was her name? Because she was also that movie where the baby was talking. Luke was talking.
Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, man, Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, for sure.
And then,
but she ballooned up though.
She always reminded me of Meg Foster, except she didn't,
yeah.
Meg Foster had those eyes.
See, I'm lucky. I actually met a lot of my girl crushes at cons, like the Pink Ranger. I got to meet her. That was amazing. I met what's her Jewel State. Most people know her from Firefly. Yeah. Dude, and that's like huge crush for me as a kid because she did a lot of Nickelodeon shows, and I was obsessed with her, dude. I got to meet her. So I was like, this is amazing.
Humor too, Jewel State. Also, my big one was Aaron Gray from
Aaron Gray,
Colonel Wilma Deering.
Whoa.
The best and the tightest space pants in space.
Linda Carter, the sister from the Michael Keaton, or not Michael J. Fox show.
Family Ties.
Matters.
Yeah, his sister.
And Courtney Cox was on there too. I thought she was smoking when Courtney Cox was on there before Friends.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
She was on a show nobody knows about called Misfits of Science, which I loved. It only lasted one season. It was so funny, so bad, and so lovable at the same time.
It's like the head of the class show. Oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
We grew up in the best times.
About Aaron Gray, Nab.
That's what I was like. To me, there was nothing. It kept going and going. There was never a dry spell from 80s and 90s. Never. Late 90s, early 2000s, I was like, and that's they haven't caught that magic back. They maybe here and there, but not like it was then.
I think
because I don't know anything that I sit down and watch like on TV. I usually stream something. I'm usually streaming something, but I can't think of anything that is like must watch. Not Walking Dead was that for me for a long time. I would watch it every Sunday night, and Sons of Anarchy. I really like that show too. So, but yeah, I can't. Really, you're right. I hadn't really thought about it in a while. Just there's nothing, really like that go-to sitcom. The Office, maybe, for a while, but
yeah,
The Office was good, and what I caught later on was Modern Family.
Yeah.
Modern Family's great.
Yeah.
I thought it wouldn't be good because I really didn't like ABC sitcoms, but that was hard.
That was wow. Oh yeah. The Titans show just came out, third season. And they had 3 episodes.
I gotta start watching it.
Wow.
Watch it after we get done here.
Wow.
And
Stargirl always came out too. Stargirl is awesome. Just came out. I was like, this is so much stuff. I'm so happy. Thank God I can watch things again.
Doesn't it kill you, Louis, when you see people complaining about these shows and movies? You're like, you don't understand, man. We prayed just to have one show that was made with quality.
Yeah.
That had anything to do with a superhero in our time.
Oh yeah.
You had Superman 78, and then the next quality one you had was Batman 89. You had to wait 11 years.
Yeah, is that something, dude? Like, come on.
Sure.
Thank God for Tim
Now
Burton.
there's this embarrassment of riches, and people are still whining about it. It's like you don't even understand. You're lucky to have this.
It's an entitled generation, Gary. Don't you know?
Get off my lawn.
I was so lucky I saw the Flash show as a kid. I was the only one in third grade watching it, but I was like, dude, this is the best stuff on TV. And I loved it.
Yeah, it was.
Hey,
Even though the costume was horrible, it was still so much fun.
It was.
John Wesley Shipp.
He was, dude. He was great.
And
I don't know how they
Amanda
did him. Yeah.
Amanda Page was another one. Yeah.
Yup.
Hey.
Leviathan, or was it Deep Star 6? I always get those two confused. I love them both because I love underwater horror. But Amanda Page was in one of those.
Amanda Page was on Max Headroom.
Yep.
Oh yeah. See, there's so many stuff, dude. Like we have millions of things in our head that we held dear. How about the last 20 years? Anything else that awesome that you care and know all the lines to? Nothing.
Right.
Oh goodness.
You'll catch flashes of it, but I mean, as a kid, we would get hit one after the other. You'd go from watching Archie Bunker at 7 right into MASH at 7:30, and then maybe Dallas at 8. But Magnum PI.
Awesome. Oh man, he was so
Magnum
cool.
PI was great. Yep.
Right?
Buck Rogers was another one that I watched a lot.
That's what I was saying. Aaron Gray, greatest
Yeah.
man in space.
Yeah. God, it was such a good time.
Right?
It really was. I hadn't thought about that in a while though, but it really was. I mean, and it's something like even my wife and kids we don't do now, where we would sit because we literally would have dinner. I usually had ball practice or something, and then I would come in from practice and sit down and eat dinner, and then we would sit down in front of the TV and watch these shows, and we did it almost every night. It was awesome.
And I got to shout out this show from Rob Patstack because I love this show.
Yeah, me too.
Hold up, but it had such heart, and that song is still on my playlist on my phone. I still listen to it every week.
I'm walking on air.
I don't care. I will blast it. I don't care who's looking at me or making fun of me. And you know what's funny? I pair it with another song. There's 2 songs I play together. It's that one, and it's "Candy" by Cameo.
Nice.
Yeah, you lost me there. Sorry. No, I was with you up until that.
Cameo?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I know that song.
I definitely for sure know Cameo because that word up. That's
Right.
That's the red leather codpiece.
I would say Captain Codpiece.
I just wonder how you pair the two though. That's weird.
Because I don't know. I always ended up listening to them together for some reason. They have nothing in common, but they're 1 and 2 on my playlist together, and I always listen to them together.
I still have the song in my head. All I think is Costanza's voicemail.
Oh, yeah. Richard Scarborough, I think that's his name.
Nice, dude. Yes, Scarborough.
Yeah, I still remember when he was on Solid Gold. You remember Solid Gold?
Yeah.
Danny
Absolutely.
Terrio, right? Danny Terrio.
Yeah. Solid Gold and the Solid Gold Dancers.
Oh, baby. Man, those were the days, people.
Yeah.
God, they really
we still
were.
had the countdown on Saturdays.
Casey Kasem.
Oh, I still love Casey
Yeah.
Kasem.
Another one of those voices that you always hear. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Do you all remember what was it like? There was videos late at night. It was like night tracks or something like that. Do you remember that?
Right.
It was like videos after 12
Yeah.
o'clock.
Every Friday night where I lived, it was called Friday Night Videos.
Yep.
And I
Friday
was
Night
up every
Videos.
Friday night watching it.
That's awesome.
I still remember when Taylor Dane performed on it live. I was like, yeah, Taylor
Nice.
Dane's on tonight.
Straight to my heart.
Right?
Yeah, boy. Man, that's what I was thinking.
I didn't know we were going to go down like an 80s
Yeah.
TV show lane. This is awesome.
We're officially in the wormhole, people. Officially in the wormhole.
Oh, heck yeah. I was thinking, like, nobody else can play Indiana Jones either. Like, you can't do that again. You can't. Like, he was perfect. Freaking perfect.
So let me ask you, Louie, what I wouldn't say notorious. Let's say you're famous for those dollar bins.
Yeah, baby.
What actually makes you spend money, though? And do you have a limit? Is there that one thing that you wouldn't have a limit in buying if you saw it?
So yeah, because as far as individual comics, I used to have my limit changed so much. Dang it! So I used to have a $10 limit for back issue bins if I really, really wanted it. And I started finding some stuff I really wanted. I'm like, all right. And then I started finding stuff I liked at 20. Like, okay, I really like it. Okay, let's do 20. And it just kept going up and up. And then I think this one I paid the most, $50 for this, but TMT #1, I had to. First appearance, cover appearance of Shredder. Like, all right, but now that's my limit. I was like, crap, now I can spend $50 on a book. That's what happens. I try not to go past $1. I find so many great things for dollars. Like this team, and this is $1 way back when. And that's that Sega cover. You guys remember that one from Nintendo? That's more recognizable to me. And you gotta love that Liard Splinter too. These are both $1 at a bodega, if you will. And I was just like, all right, nothing. It's hard for me to gauge because I find great stuff for great deals. So it's hard for me to pay a lot for something. I was like, I can find it cheaper. So that's where it's tricky. So, but I do say 50 because there's a Gargoyles one that I can get for 50. I'm like, oh, I've been juggling that because that's a MegaCon ticket. It's like MegaCon or Gargoyles. And it's tough, man, because that's the thing. There's always another grail. We keep grailing and grailing and grailing. God dang it. It doesn't end, but I love it.
And it's tough where I live because everyone here, we're in Rochester, there's a lot of comic shops and and all the owners are comic smart. So you're not going in there and finding those books in the dollar.
Yeah. Ours are lazy because they keep buying a bunch of sets from people, collections, and they're just like, they're exhausted. Like, I can't go through it. It's like, you just find whatever. And every time I come up, they're like, that was in the dollar bin. Every time. It's like, I put the work in. Like, I put 3 hours into that. So, yeah, I found that awesomeness.
And that's something that's happened lately, though, because I'll go dig, and my comic shop now has got that. It was like that post that was put out. You'll bring it up, and then they'll start eBay pricing it. And I'm like, if I wanted to buy it on eBay, I'd have bought it on eBay. Right. I spent 4 hours back there digging through your boxes doing your job.
Yeah, I walked away from that kind of stuff before. Yeah, I don't try me like that. Somebody tried out recently. I'm like, you just lost my business, and I would have spent hundreds of dollars a year, sucker.
And that's the thing where I go, Louie, at Rhino's Comics. You find it, and you find a book. Like I was there today. I was helping get his wall set for him, but customers in there found a signed Thor book for $6. He's like, this is only $6. He goes, is that the price you found it at? He's like, yeah. He goes, then that's what it is.
Yeah, baby.
More, but he doesn't do that. If you find a deal in a shop and it's a book he missed, nothing is ever upcharged at the register. It's whatever price you found it at on the floor, and that's it.
Yeah, you just bought a customer for life too. It's like, I can find books like this here.
I guess I have to go out of state because I found out today that one of the new LCSs by me, the owner helped broker the deal that Nick Cage sold all his comics from. So this guy is like, he's got a Superman #1. He's got it on eBay right now for $3.5 million. So there's no deals to be found there. That guy knows everything. So I guess I got to travel to Florida.
They don't know nothing down here. They don't put the work in. They're like, key collectors, like, yeah, I don't want to go through that. Which to them, they're drowning. They're drowning in books all day. They see it in their sleep,
Well, that's it's an inventory nightmare. It really is, especially when you buy collections. I know our guy, Chet, right? He has a group of us that are his friends that help him out. So he gets a collection, and we'll go through and with our apps, and we'll pull all the keys out of that collection. So he has them.
Awesome.
And, but it's but he would, if he was running that by himself and didn't have friends, he would never be able to do it.
You can't.
The inventory is even with all of us that lend a hand, it's still impossible to find everything. It's just it's like people just don't understand the work that goes into it, especially on the pull list day when you have hundreds of titles spread out and you're getting everyone's
bagging and boarding those guys. Yeah, that's killer. Do you guys know about Nick Cage's story with his Superman book?
No.
They stole. Yeah, dude, and he found it. It's like 3 years to find it.
They found it in a storage room. Yep, in a storage room.
Oh yeah, dude. #1 Superman. I was like, woof. And he named himself Cage because of Luke Cage too.
Yeah,
He's a Coppola, yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
dude,
He's always been tight heavy in the comics.
and I love both his Ghost Rider. Love both of those
Yeah,
movies.
me
They're
too.
both great. He was even more.
I
Nick
enjoyed
Cage
them, but he was not Johnny Blaze to me. But
No,
here's the thing: the Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes on Agents of Shield was great.
Yeah,
Played
that was
so
awesome.
well by Gabriel Luna.
Yeah,
Amazing. I thought, and it looked that Ghost Rider had better effects than the Ghost
it
Rider.
did when his
movie.
face melted. I was like,
It
boom,
was
that's
so
perfect.
good.
Yeah,
But I still want a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider.
we should have it because I think right now he's a King of Hell. I think right now in Marvel, which they
Danny
can tie
Ketch was
all
my
this stuff
favorite.
in.
And I grew up with Johnny Blaze, but there was
Yeah.
something about that Danny Ketch run that spoke to me.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
No, I love it. I love all that stuff. And it was really thanks to the Spider-Man 90s cartoon introduced me to all of Marvel, and that's what got me obsessed with collecting and reading and learning more. It was all that because that cartoon that was a catalyst for me.
Do you remember when Ghost Rider appeared on the Hulk cartoon? I was like, that was such an exciting
Yeah,
episode.
oh
I'm like, Ghost Rider's on it.
dude. Yes, heck yes. The whole cartoon was good too. It had its moments for sure. I really enjoyed what they did on there.
And I love that
Fable.
old Fantastic Four cartoon. It was so good. I have it here on DVD. And
I meant to ask you. Do you know Conan had a second cartoon?
yes, Conan and the Young Warriors. It's so hard to find.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I only can remember like 2 or 3 episodes, but he talks about when he ate his bird, when he ate the phoenix.
When he ate the Phoenix. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
dude.
still has to do with Star Metal. I don't know why they ever put the Star Metal in with that, but yeah.
I do love that. That's like my favorite part of that whole first cartoon because the metal can like make them go back to whatever. And I think that cartoon changed my life. I'll never forget.
It was a great gimmick.
I didn't even know
Do
there
you
was.
remember the Phoenix's name?
I used to be better about it because I remember he loved the apricot. That's all I remember.
He was Needle.
Every week they like to stump you with the animal names. Gary got me last week with
boy. That Kino.
What do you need?
King Conan.
Yep. The Adventurer.
Yeah, boy. You remember. Oh, and this one's for you, Nick. Boom, brother.
Yeah, now you got me hooked on that.
Yeah, brother. Do you have this one in 1980?
The only one I have is the one you sent so far.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you got another one, brother.
Thank you.
He's a common.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I love finding stuff. That's my favorite about dollar bin diving. I just go crazy. Like, it's $1. I can go for anything now. And I'm so expanded because I suffer more from FOLO, which is fear of leaving out. That's what haunts me. FOMO, like, I don't care. I don't care about specs and stuff that gives me nightmares. Stuff that I had in my hand, like, I'll come back for it or just don't leave it. There's stuff in Kissimmee. I'm like, God dang it, I'm having nightmares about it. I had it and I left it.
So the nerd fears, man, they get you. I think about that too. I'm like, I shouldn't have left that book there. And it hits you hard when you do go back and that book is gone when you were going to get it the next visit. You're like, oh, why? Why did I leave it on this shelf?
Now, that's one thing my shop does do is if they've gotten to the point where, like, I won't even let them pull the eBay thing anymore. I'm like, Louie, I was like, look, you know how much money I spend here? You know, I was like, and we're not doing this, you know. But anyway, like if I find something, they will put it in my pull list, my folder, so that I can come back. Like if it's something I just, you know, because I kind of work on a budget too. You know, I don't spend mine and Amy's money on it. It's whatever I can, you know, sell and do whatever. And they'll put stuff back for me usually and hold it for a couple of weeks so I can make sure I get it because I have that same fear. Is I will have it in my hand and leave it, but if I find it, I generally stick it in my box and grab it. So, same way, same exact. I have that same fear
because I hate that. I was like, dang it, you're so mad at yourself. Especially because you get books you don't even care about. I was like, dang it, I got those stupid ones instead. I hate it.
What was the last one that you left that you really regret not getting? That escaped you. Which one escaped?
Gosh, there's a couple. What's the one, man? Because I usually go back. Nothing escapes me. Like I'm so vengeful. Like I wake up early, first one in kind of guy.
Louis sweeping the front steps for the guy to come in.
Yes, I do. Oh my gosh! I'm like, you mind, bro? It's after 10, man.
I love it.
Honestly, I don't think I lose out. I do because I'm such a spoiled brat.
There's a lot of great anime.
Oh, dude, like my this guy, Promiscuous Time Traveler Kyle, he told me about this book, which is actually behind another one, but this is Steve Ditko's original first Spider-Man cover, but it was rejected. They didn't like this one, but they reprinted it on this other book, which I would have never known it wasn't for him, but it's on this index, the Amazing Spider-Man #1 index, and it's the back cover to that, and it's a Ditko. Wow. What the heck, yeah, dude. So I can't believe those kind of things. I would never learn without this community. And of course, my book where my story was printed in the Spider Mail. Like I turned in a story and they printed it out. I remember my wife making fun of me. He's like, "You think they're going to read your letter out in millions of letters?" I'm like, "I just wanted to say something nice about Dan Slott." And bam.
There it is.
Baby. Yeah. Hello, true believers. I even put my pictures on there with Dan Slott, which I love, dude. It's just incredible. So that's like another dream come true. It's like I'm in a comic book, a Spidey one at that. So
did you ever get a no prize though, Louie?
The which one? The no prize? No.
No prize? No.
No, I used to love those, dude. Those are so fun. Stanley Soapbox.
You get a no prize.
How great is that? Like we loved it. There was nothing. You're like, yeah.
But I mean, aside from like Deadpool, they don't really even put those little notes anymore, do they?
There is most things get mail, but in a sense, we have to really care. And pretty much they'll put anything up. Like I've seen pictures of just kids in costumes, and they'll print it as long as you put okay to print. They'll pretty much print anything. So you make a good enough story, they'll print it up there. Mine was just about Dan Slott, how much I liked him, and he was leaving ASM, and he put it up there. And I was blown away because I almost forgot about it, and my mind was just like, boom, dude! I freaking loved it. I did like Dan Slott. He is my favorite Spidey writer still.
Now, did they tell you that they're printing it, or you just came upon it?
I just came upon it, dude. Like, no, yeah, I was just like, and I'd never forget it. So I was like in my car, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, dude, I'm honestly, I keep following my dreams. Yeah, 797, he knows. I keep following my dreams, and it keeps happening. So I'm like, I'm addicted now. Like, how am I supposed to stop? So I'm loving life, guys. Like, it's crazy how awesome. Now the community, like, this is another bonus on top of everything else because you guys are the best people I ever met. Like, this is amazing. And we're all the same person. We're all variants of each other. And we all want to hear about our comic stories.
Don't call me a variant. Now it means something else after watching Loki, right?
Yeah, you're an exclusive, bro. I love it, man. I truly love it. Because I didn't think there was too many fellers our age into this, honestly. I didn't think that was I see so many cons and stuff.
Mostly people our age now. Yeah,
baby. Because it is us. They knew what they were doing in the 80s. Like, let's indoctrinate them now, and they'll never let it go. I haven't let it go. Like, you got me.
In 30 years, they're going to have money.
Yeah, dude, exactly. They knew. Oh, my gosh. I still want that Voltron Force original, 1981, dude. I had it. But I also had two younger brothers that destroyed everything. But one day I'll get that bad boy again. That's the other bucket list one.
So who's your favorite creator besides Stan Lee?
Like creator of characters and stuff like that. Gosh.
Just in comics in general, whether it's a writer, an artist, just who, like someone whose work, like for me, it's Roy Thomas.
Of course, yeah, dude.
John Buscema, of course, Barry.
Yeah, Frazetta. Yeah. Kirby, I think Kirby's huge. And he's, huge for everybody because I love his covers, how so much in one cover to me always blew me away. And I love how he inspired a lot. Like, we wouldn't have Ninja Turtles if it wasn't for Liard having some Kirby artwork that he wanted to show off to Eastman. He's like, hey, do you want to see some artwork in my house? Like, yeah. So he went to see his dad, and they teamed up and they created the Turtles from that thing, that one little knowing one thing like that. So because of that, I love Kirby even more. But there's so many, because Ross is another favorite artist of mine. God, I am all over the place, dude. Like, there's not enough room for people. I do respect all the OGs like Delbo and other people who brought in things. I think more of the 80s stuff. Like, I love Wolverine. I love the Teen Titans. I think I'm more of that style because it is different. 70s kids, you guys had more like the Star Wars and that style stuff. And then when it came to 80s, like it's everything, just shoot everything at it in every form and every way. That's why I love everything. There's nothing. There's
a ton of good out there,
yes,
There's
dude.
just so many classic people. Yes. And like you're talking about Spider-Man, and Randy Emberlin did so much great work on Spider-Man, and he never really got his credit. All that. I think Randy Emberlin, he was one of the greats. I think on his Spider-Man run.
And then Ross Andrew is another one. I think like they have all this stuff, they have no idea. Even Ditko, it's like nobody really gives him credit because he really did start that Peter kind of, because he was more of a jerk, Peter or Ditko. He was just, it wasn't that nice. It's really fun because Romita brought that fun. He brought the girls. Like, oh my gosh, Peter Parker had all the ladies of Marvel. My goodness,
Sure did,
man. So I do, gosh. So that's another one. Romita's another one for me, of course. I love Romita Jr. He was actually my first Spidey artist because that's when I first started reading. I was like, I loved all the shoulders, like the huge shoulders.
I liked him before he went blocky.
He did go super blocky.
Like I don't like his. I know that's his new style. Well, now that he's been doing it for 20 plus years now, but I like his classic work.
Yeah.
But I thought he was pretty unbeatable then. But once he went blocky, not that it's not good. It just doesn't fit me.
It's all the same, like Punisher, and they all looked exactly the same, which is his style. But I totally agree. When he first started, when he was really trying. Because I think he did Punisher. Was that his creation? I want to say when he was a kid, he kind of helped co-create Punisher. I want to say that was his idea. I want to say like they did it because he's like, hey, Dad, you should make this character. And he kind of worked with him somehow. But yeah, there's so much. There is a lot of history. We don't know unless they're in a movie doing a cameo. It's like, who's that guy?
Great creators like Gil Kane. But
did you guys see Suicide Squad?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Dude, how much fun was that? It was awesome.
Ratcatcher was my favorite.
Yeah, right. So she beautiful.
And then Idris Elba, but Idris Elba is incredible in every single thing.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'll totally do.
You can't see a movie with him and not enjoy him, whatever he's doing. He's
You guys watch?
So I wasn't surprised by him. Ratcatcher was amazing.
You watch Luther at all, then, Gary?
I've never seen Luther. I hear it's really good.
It's good.
It is good.
At the end of Suicide Squad, for some reason, I always watch the credits all the way to the end of every movie now. And at the end, I noticed that they had, what's his name? The mutated guy, Toxic Avenger. I was like, they have a Toxic Avenger song? That's weird. And it just popped out at me. And then I always love going back on YouTube, seeing the Easter eggs I missed. And apparently, the director was really good friends with. Yeah, the guy who created Toxic Avenger.
Started with Trauma.
Yes, dude. Yes, and he was in the bar scene when they were in the bar. He was there, and he turned around and was like, "Hey, whatever." It was like the one director guy. So that one little thing, no one knows anything. Nobody knows until you show it out to people. They had no idea that was a huge cameo. So yeah, I love that little stuff. I love Easter eggs. I think we do. We're obsessed with continuity. Like you better get it right. So yeah, and I'm a big fan. That's why I love movies. Nothing gets me mad because if you give me one nugget, like done, I'm good, happy with whatever you do. I don't care what you do. I'm totally happy with that one line or that one scene.
Right, because they just make it perfect, and you're like,
yeah, dude, heck yes. Like excited for Venom. I'm excited for all the things, all fun stuff. Even Black Widow, as okay as that was, there was still little fun nuggets.
Really? See, a lot of people didn't like it, and I loved Black Widow. That sister relationship in it was so good. Those two together were great. I thought Red Guardian was good.
Yeah.
And I thought the Mist was clever to clear their minds and stuff.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. When she, I don't want to spoil for anyone. I was like, oh,
dude.
Cow.
You gotta
totally caught me by surprise.
Well, I love this.
That is such a badass Black Widow moment.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I love the sister a lot. I like her a lot, and I'm excited to see what she can bring to MCU. And you notice people, Marvel, they got their brother-sister thing going, or the siblings. All the sibling relationships are like very impactful, and you want to root for the good and bad. It's really amazing how they can do that. And I can see that with Aquaman and his brother in the Aquaman movies. Like that could be another Loki Thor thing.
Oh yeah, Rachel Weisz is always good, and she's one of those women who has a classic beauty about her. You could put her in any age, and she's not dead gorgeous.
She's had some work done though.
Doesn't
The
I don't
Mummy.
care. She's beautiful.
In The Mummy, I fell in love with her in The Mummy. I was like, who is this
I
lady?
think everybody did, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I think she has that kind of beauty, and I think the other one who has that kind of beauty is Keira Knightley.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, Kira is beautiful, and it's amazing how she got famous because she looked like what's her face for the Star Wars movie, and that's how she blew up because she was an extra and she was the one that was blown up in the Star Wars. They thought that was a princess that was going to die, but it was really her.
Natalie Portman, you're talking about?
Yes, yeah, she looked like Natalie, so they hired her for that role to be set up to explode or whatever. That's how her. Yeah, I ate it up too, dude.
No, and then she had that, that great breakout in one of the best movies ever, Love Actually.
There you go, man. That's your bro.
Oh, that is awesome.
My wife gave it to me as a birthday present, dude. I love it so much.
That is sweet.
And I love Ryan Gonzalez, one of my favorite female artists. She's awesome.
So we have been going.
Yeah, bro.
For an hour and 10 minutes. It's the fastest show ever. It's been.
It really has. I looked up a minute ago and I was
the
like,
past.
Yeah.
I
was looking at the clock and I was like, really?
I'm like, oh my gosh.
That wasn't just
the
the intro.
We're gonna have to start doing our goodbyes and stuff. But man, I think a number 2 session is going to be in order at some point with you.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love talking about my stuff.
Oh yeah, friends. And Miss So, I hadn't really seen her in anything, and she completely impressed me with her ability.
She was great.
And she was awesome.
Yeah, Miss So was awesome.
And when she did the landing, like Black Widow, she goes, oh, I was like rolling.
Right? That was great.
Yeah. But she had to try it once just to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig her. She's great.
Gents, final questions for Louie if you have them.
I don't really have any questions for Louie. I just, man, I love you so much. I mean, like, I truly do. Like, I love your channel. And I don't feel like I say that every week, but I swear to God, if you're watching this right now and you're not subbed up to Louie, you need to go over there. Go sub my boy up because he has a great, great channel. Sub Nick up, sub Gary B up. I mean, if you're here, you're probably following Gary B, but Louie has a great channel, very creative cat. Yeah. That's my man. See, like, I'm bragging on him all night, Nick. I'm going to gush. Look at that. Breaks out some Superman.
Yeah, boy.
But no, I love you, Louie.
Right, I got you, brother.
Yeah.
Got comics for days, baby.
All right, so Louie, I'm going to hit you with this one on the way out. You by far are one of the most positive people I've ever encountered. All right, not only in your videos, but what you spread across to the community. And any story you tell has always been very heartwarming for me. I appreciate that. It's helped me kind of look at my life a little differently and think. So thank you very much for that. But I'm going to ask you this: being such a positive person, if you could be one villain in any universe. Who I could be in too. Who would it be? Why? And what moment would truly define you as that character?
Man, that is a toughie. There's so many actually, but because of my baldness, I want to go with Lex.
Perfectly fine.
Right. He's perfectly fine, but he's so smart, and I get it, man. Like, I really get him. Like, who's this alien trying to be more badass than me, the most badass human on Earth? I totally get him, and I love that in the older books they used to be friends or whatever. Just like in Smallville, I love it. I eat it up, man, and. He's just badass. Like Lex, especially when he became Apex Lex. I was like, oh man, this guy's unstoppable. But I loved when he was Super Lex too. When he was wearing that was probably my favorite. He was a good guy. But man, he's just something about Lex. He's always steps ahead, and I think it's his brilliance. I wish I was that smart. I honestly do, because he can build anything, he can make anything, and he creates his own legacy. And I think I heard Mark talking about how there's a future where the House of L is his legacy or something, where it's his people in the future, and that's like Krypton's actually future Earth. And I was like, that's blowing my mind. So I eat that up, man. I do. I have to go with Lex all day, and of course, because I'm perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Well, I appreciate you, Louie, man. And honestly, if I could always just give you a hug, man, I would.
Right?
I would.
I agree, Nick. I swear. That's Louie. I just love Louie.
I know, dude. One day we will all meet. You'll see. Are you
going to C2E2? Rob had asked. Are you going to try to go?
I know. I wish, dude. Chicago is a little too far. I really wish though, because all the people that are going, it's going to be that's going to be epic, just epic. But I think one day there can be something like that in the future. We can all do that. Like we can even make our own con, honestly. Like I'm surprised there isn't one yet. Yeah. So, and we can even be guests. Like there's a lot of things that can happen. So I think the future is bright because things are kind of, I think, picking up a little bit more. And it's weird though, because this changed me. This whole time, this community changed me too, buddy. Like it's all for the better. Like we could have went the other way. Easy to go the other way. We went towards our love, and look how all this happened. Like I've never been this affectionate with so many strangers, especially men online.
Right.
Just now.
Jimmy has, but there's a stranger.
Yeah, you got to be careful, because that opens up a whole other can of worms.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be careful.
At the Dude Ranch.
I ain't ashamed.
Right? Ain't no shame in this game, baby.
That Cocoa Radiance.
Now, my last question for you, Louie, and I've asked this question before, and I think it's going to kind of be my go-to question because I'm curious what people think about it. If you could have a Stanley-style cameo in any past movie or a future movie that could come out, what would it be?
Gosh. I always love his Spider-Man ones so much. But I did still want him to be, what was it? Gosh. Oh, I can't think of it now. But it was, goodness, like I wanted something with him and Kirby, like kind of being like the old fathers or something like that, like the creators of the universe. And the only way I can describe it is, if you guys seen the Turtles Forever cartoon, which a lot of people didn't, it was a cartoon that actually featured
they went to the future, right?
Yes, and it featured every iteration of every turtle ever. And the way it ended was Eastman and Liard were writing it. Like, oh, that was a great cartoon. And you just walk off, like, want to get some pizza? Like, sure. So I love that kind of stuff, like where it ends, where they're just writing it. And it's just like, it really was just fan fiction, but it really does exist. Just kind of make it meta a little bit. So something a little bit more meta, where it just makes it more real, where Stanley's like, I told you.
Or just Bob Newhart ending, huh?
Yes, thank you. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like,
that's how you wrap this show up.
Yes, Stanley next to his wife saying, like, I had a weird dream. That's it.
Right. So that's the kind of cameo you would want in a movie. Nice.
Yeah, 100%. I love meta. I eat meta for dinner.
So we're gonna give you 1 minute to plug your channel, and then we'll do our goodbyes.
Awesome, guys. So yeah, I'm free. Key Loowee. And usually every Freaky Friday I give away comics, but I've been kind of roller coastering a bit. But this Saturday will be the return of live from Newport. It's Saturday Night Louie, and I'm gonna baby. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a cowbell riff there. So always fun, always a good time. And I'll tell you guys this too. Nobody knows, but I'm going to invite guests too for the first time. I don't even know who it is. So that's how much fun it is. And surprise. So you got to check it out. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's a blast. You always have fun this Saturday. And you never know what pops up, who pops up. And I might be canceled, so hurry up and watch it before they cancel me.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, he's got a great channel, guys. Obviously, if you're here watching, you guys in the audience already know this. So for any of you new people that catch us on the rewind, go check out Louie's channel. You'll have just a blast.
Come on.
Nice.
There you go.
Orange stash. Nice.
That's Jim Lee as Mr. Fantastic. That's the bullpen. As the
baby. Jack Kirby thing. I love it, bro.
Was that Louis Simonson as
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. It was a great as a flame on. Just one of my favorites too. I can't. I'm obsessed with the guy. What can I say?
Nick, would you like to start us out, sir?
Yes, well, since Louis is having live from Newport Saturday night, if Chip is around, we are going to be doing a live reaction drinking game.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pick a keyword Saturday night, and we're gonna take a drink every time Louis says it. So
I'm not gonna believe this.
I don't know yet. I don't know who the invite's gonna go out yet, but join us Saturday night for a good time.
They're
You go on
serious too,
Is it-
Louis. They got their Zimas ready.
Yep, Zimas,
Yeah.
And the Jolly Ranchers.
Bartles and James, and Cisco. That's all we're gonna be doing. And Louis, you go on. What time is it? 9 o'clock Eastern.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, baby.
So come out and join us, or definitely go watch Louis. It's a great time. He's a great man.
Awesome,
He's doing
bro.
great. Appreciate it.
Really excited. Yeah, baby.
All right, Jimmy, you want to give your goodbye, your sign off, and promote your channel a little bit?
Not really.
Subscriber push.
No. No. Great 10 questions today. If you haven't watched it yet, the Dorkeries, it was really, really good. And then the one before that hasn't got a lot of love, but it was really good. Grant's Comics, we talked about everything under the sun. I mean, like literally everything. Go check that out. I've got a great guest coming up next week. He might be there.
I can't even say 10 questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, are you doing 9.5 questions with Nick?
9.5 weeks.
9.5 weeks. Yeah. So it's, but no, got that coming up. I'll unbox something on Monday, and then we'll do the first appearances and key issues on Tuesday. And make sure to look out for my sponsorship, my new sponsorship with Coco Radiant. That's coming to you soon. And the Vaseline company has, they're going to put me up to push their product. So be on the lookout for that. And you just got jimmied.
She's got Jimmy, baby. It's a whack exclusive.
Coming up for me, I got my Savage Saturday comic review this week. I'll have my normal Sunday shout out show. And then just seeing what this crazy job transition is going to lead into next week for YouTube. We'll see. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thank you, each and every one of you in the audience, for supporting the show and watching us. We appreciate it.
Love
I
you
have
guys.
an awesome time hanging out with my buddies on this show every week, and I thank them for being on it with me. As always, guys, I'm going to say keep it casual. Louis, take us out, sir.
Enough said.
Awesome. Awkward ending.